Hey guys, it's me, Nicholas Hawk, and I'm back with another reaction video. Woohoo, and all of that. If you guys are wondering why I'm talking like this, well, it's up there. The reason is up there. Chucky officially, no season 4 coming, canceled. So, this video came out yesterday. It was made by Critical Overlord, a very good movie and TV show researcher. Got like 24K subscribers. I looked into some of his videos, and they're pretty good and accurate, because he searches this information up about the movies and TV shows, release dates, and getting canceled, or getting renewed, or getting rebooted. And he just dropped this video yesterday talking about how Chucky is not getting a season 4, and that the show has been canceled in general by USA and SYFY. I am very, very, very upset because of what USA and SYFY has done to this show. They did a very good job with this show. At least in my opinion, it deserves a 10 out of 10 star rating. But even despite all that they've been through with Chucky, they just want Chucky's show to come to a close. Yeah, so I am very disappointed of what USA and SYFY has effing done to this very good horror comedy soap operas slasher show. But it's not like there's anything else that can be done with it. This is very unfortunately and sadly the end for Chucky, the TV show. We all had so much fun with this show. I did. We all screamed. We all laughed. We all cried. But now it's time for this show to come to a close. So, with that being said, let's just get this over with. Let's begin with the reaction video, and then afterwards, of course, I will be saying a few more things before ending off this video. Anyways, let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Let's just get this over with. I see a lot of familiar, horrifying faces. Critical Overlord, ladies and gentlemen.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about Chucky in this video.
Great to be with you, Critical Overlord.
So we finally, after months of anticipation, and the outcome that many people who were using just logic and reasoning has finally been confirmed via the reputable trades. We finally got that outcome. It says here from Deadline, Chucky has been canceled by SYFY and USA after 3 seasons, leaving creator Don Mancini heartbroken but grateful amid NBC.
I'm heartbroken too.
A
good majority of us are heartbroken as well. The report says
Chucky's murderous days are over, at least for now. No, they're not. Don Mancini already told us that this will not be the end. It said the series, based on the classic horror movie franchise, will not return for a 4th season on SYFY and USA Network. The news comes 4 months after part 2 of Chucky's 3rd season
Just
aired.
When we thought
its finale on both NBC Universal cable networks.
It turns
Chucky
out
creator and executive producer Don Mancini had been looking to continue the series. He revealed in April that he had
because this is the end,
saying at the time that it's something I really like to do. His enthusiasm helped spring the renewed Chucky fan campaign, which has been rallying support for season 4. Needless to say, today's outcome is not what he had hoped for, but Mancini, who also created
I don't like the outcome either.
The movie franchise, remained grateful in his reaction, vowing that this is not Chucky's last spree. He says, I'm
unless they can make another Child's Play movie, go back to the movies.
Season, but I'm so grateful for the killer 3 years we did have.
I am too.
He's thanking all the production companies, our awesome cast and Toronto-based crew, and finally to our amazing fans, a big bloody hug. Your incredible Renew Chucky campaign
from yours
really
truly
warmed Chucky's cold heart. Chucky will return. He always comes back. This marks the end of an era for sci-fi. Chucky was the last higher-end UCP-produced original scripted series on the network. The other one, Resident Alien, recently moved to USA
Alien
with significant
sucks,
budget reduction. Amid the sobering reality of the ad-supported cable business in the cord-cutting era, Sci-Fi is now relying on Canadian and modestly budgeted independent productions like Electric Entertainment's The Ark for its original scripted offerings. Chucky was one of the signs for what was to come. Originally greenlit by Sci-Fi, it ended up being shared with USA so the two networks could shoulder the cost. As for USA, after phasing out its scripted originals in the last couple of years, the network is back in the game with budget-conscious blue sky procedurals, harkening back to the network's heyday of hits like Monk, Psych, Suits, and White Collar. I'm going to get back to that point. The first series under the initiative is the upcoming The Rainmaker, based on the John Grisham novel. Chucky, the series, follows the murderous escapades of the notorious killer doll. Chucky crosses paths with arch enemies, old allies, and new prey as he seeks to inspire fear and mayhim.
Yeah, I really liked how they brought back Andy,
to invade
Kyle,
America's
Tiffany,
children's
and
hospital
Mika.
is foiled in season 1. Chucky now seeks revenge on those he holds responsible, surviving teens like Jake, Devin, and Lexi, along with his ex Tiffany, now his sworn enemy. Now, I want to circle back to that comment about USA trying to capture their heyday of hits like Monk, Psych, Suits, and White Collar, because I definitely was someone who remembers the days of Monk. And you cannot convince me that continuing with Chucky would have been able to even remotely capture the magic of what Monk did. I don't even know if you were to do a show like Monk on the USA Network today, if it would even be as successful. But there is no way Chucky was pulling in the ratings that Monk was. Absolutely not. Monk, from my memory, was pulling in 5 to 4 million viewers. Sometimes I think even some episodes got 6 million. I wasn't the biggest Monk fan, but I just was someone who, at the time of when it was still on air, I was very fascinated by everyone's interest in the show. I never got hooked on it like everyone else, but it was a very popular show, and it definitely was able to hit the 6 million mark. Chucky never came close. I'm positive.
Hey, they did a great job in my opinion, of course.
When you consider the fact that this was in limbo for so long.
Yeah, I mean, he was in limbo, but I mean, they just decided to come up with a new idea by making a show. Because why not?
Couldn't have been worth it. It could not have been worth it.
The show was worth it to me in my eyes, of course.
To finally just simply announce that your show is
just saying.
Whatever was going on was a sign that this show was not doing as well in the ratings like people are talking about. I don't even know where that's coming from. Where are these good ratings reports coming from? And what exactly are quote-unquote good ratings if you're telling your viewers that the show has good ratings? Where are the reports about these good ratings? What views and the viewership, what were they like? What were episodes doing per episode? Because when I look it up, I see the show,
the ratings and the reports,
doing around 1 million to less than 1 million views per episode.
That's what causes damage to these shows, I guess.
I can understand that. But the main home is USA and Sci-Fi. And the fact of the matter is, you could also argue that Chucky was just horribly marketed. Not a lot of people are going to be interested in a Chucky show because they probably didn't even know it existed. There's a big Chucky fandom out there. I can give you that.
With a few other people.
There was never really an opportunity for that fandom to grow if your show is on networks.
I'm part of the fandom, of course.
Where people are not watching those networks as much as they are watching things like Netflix, watching Hulu, watching Disney Plus.
Disney Plus is just pure evil.
HBO Max. All that stuff is what is becoming people's go-to for shows. Not that every show on these platforms is what people watch. And scripted television on the regular basic cable channels, of course, is still happening, but it seems to be a dying breed. Not every show is going to cut it on that network like USA, Sci-Fi. Chucky, of course, is the latest example of being a casualty of that. This isn't going to be the end of Chucky. We're going to get a new film, one way or another.
Hopefully we will. Hopefully we will. But I am hoping for that.
The question, how is this shocking? The cancellation really should not be shocking unless you were gaslighting yourself into thinking that Chucky was getting some sort of record high viewership week to week. Again, being in limbo that long, the writing was on the wall. They could have come out and given an announcement that this would be the final season, but they came out and gave us a flat out answer that it's canceled. And that was the announcement that I was expecting. That was the announcement that a lot of people were expecting, just using logic and what was in front of us. This call to tweet out renewed Chucky. Something about that, while it again gets the fans to rally around the IP in the show, why? Why? If you're that popular, why? You don't need me if you're that popular. My time to show up was when it was time to sit down and watch the damn show. Are people not watching your show? I was watching. That's why I always like to say this. Those of us who are horror fans and fans of that franchise, Child's Play, we might have been watching it. But just because we're watching it, that should not then lead to us being delusional, saying, oh, well, look at this space where everyone's talking about Chucky. When I was not in that space, no one was coming to me talking about Chucky. Not the way they talk about Monk, not the way people talk about Euphoria. None of that was going on with Chucky. They were talking about the Child's Play movies. They weren't talking about that damn show.
Oh, just the movies, but not the show.
Because, again, those first two seasons, I don't have much of a problem with those. But season 3, it wasn't going in the wrong direction. In terms of just overloading on the wackiness, the goofiness. And now when I look back on it, I still stand firmly behind it should have never ended on such a terrible cliffhanger like that. You should have never made a decision creatively to put those characters in those dolls. Because now I'm
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that, Critical Overlord.
Are we going to be abandoning Lexi, Devin, and Jake altogether? Now,
they should have just said this is the end by saying it in the final episode of the final season. I have confidence
we're going to get them out of the dolls.
Hopefully.
Who's to say
hopefully we'll see these three again and out of the dolls along with Nika.
Been canceled and the show's
whatever happened to her at the end.
Who's to say that between now and then, when we get the new film, there's not a decision made to just
hopefully
completely ignore what was done with the doll stuff.
Maybe it won't be an origin movie.
I wouldn't even be mad at that. If you were to somehow tell me that was all a dream, then I wouldn't be against it, because I just think that was a pretty bad writing decision to make, especially not considering the show's canceled. And just to circle back to the thought that the show itself wasn't even being marketed that well among USA and SYFY. Shout out to you, James, because you have been coming to me, reminding me of this reality. If the show itself is not being properly marketed, which I can agree with, and you agree with as well, James, let me tie that into this other problem with the show. A lot of people, because you guys are already doing it in the quote tweets, you guys are already DMing me saying you're cheering it on that the show is canceled. A lot of people, they are not happy that people are not going to be able to return to work on a show. That's not what they're excited about. They were losing interest in the direction the show was going. And these are fans of the franchise.
And that's why they just decided to end the show from
when it comes to Chucky right now, I see it with Scream too. When people are saying they have frustrations with the show, the narrative of if you don't like it, don't watch it, that's true in some regard. But in this instance, when your show is not being properly marketed, because if
you don't know it until you try it,
and you're not even doing anything to properly market it, you better keep everybody interested, because the second you start losing viewers, that's going to lead to a quicker cancellation, especially, again, considering they did not do a good job marketing this show between both networks. They did not. No one was talking about this show. Outside of the spaces that I'm in, and outside of just general conversation that might have had offline and just with certain friends in real life, I was not seeing people talk about Chucky the way people will talk about Euphoria. Again, the way people talked about Monk, the way people talk about so many different shows that are more popular, Stranger Things. No one was talking about Chucky like that. When they talk about Chucky, they're talking about the film franchise. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. In the description, I have links on my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.
See you around, Critical Overlord. And we just ended off with the intro. Okay, so that was that, and it's time for me to say a few more things before ending off this video, ladies and gentlemen. So, yes, he did make a lot of opinions, a lot that I didn't like, mostly because, to me, it just sounded like he was insulting the show. But, I mean, I guess that's why most shows don't really, they don't like to be around that long, and it's all because of the ratings and the reports. all because of a good majority of fans and haters and all that crap. Chucky has had a very good run throughout 2021 all the way to 2024, but now it's time for his show to be done. I will definitely miss this very good show, this very good slasher show of a soap operas, but hopefully we will see Chucky again when they decide to make another one of the Child's Play movies. Maybe this is the point where they're finally gonna get back on their feet with the movies and start making, like, either a sequel or a prequel, you know, like an origin story, or just make another sequel or whatever. Hopefully Brad Dourif can come up with something to bring Brad Dourif Chucky back. And hopefully we will not get another reboot or sequel to that 2019 reboot. Horrible flashbacks I do not want to remember. Also, I do want to say this. This reminds me of Hannibal Lecter. Because in Cult of Chucky, they make a reference talking about Hannibal Lecter and how it was canceled. You remember that. In 2017, when one-armed Chucky said, "I'm just saying, behooves us to watch our step. Behooves." The claw hand Chucky said, "Listen to you. You sound like Hannibal Lecter." Can't believe they canceled that show. So yeah, it definitely brought back some flashbacks. This video brought me back some flashbacks to you know, Cult of Chucky and mainly Hannibal Lecter. Yeah. But anyways, this is the end for Chucky, of course. There will be no season 4. We will not see him going to England with his wife, Tiffany, and Caroline, going to England to bring their family back together, to become a family again. Hopefully something like that will happen in the next movie, but I don't know. Only time will tell. So, this is it. I will miss the show. I will always crave the memories that I had watching the show. I'm pretty sure a good majority of you Chucky fans will as well, just as much as I will. Well, everyone, that is all. Goodbye, Chucky. We will see you again, hopefully, on the flip side, in another movie. I hope to see you again, and I really hope you won't get rebooted like in 2019. No, don't think of those flashbacks. Just don't think about those awful flashbacks in 2019 of the reboot Chucky movie. Anyways, back on topic. That is all for this reaction video of the awful, heartbreaking, and sad news for the Chucky TV show. Goodbye, Chucky, the TV show. We had a good run, but it's time for you to come to a close. Anyways, I will see you all on the flip side. Peace!